Hello, I am back. We are out on a very sunny day. It was my birthday quite a while back. I am now 23 years old, and I have made it 4 years under being a targeted individual. It's kind of a stupid term. But yeah, I made it 4 years. Living happily. Despite people trying to tear me down at every step. And yeah, there's been many battles, many wars I've won, many hard times, but I've pulled through it all, and I can only thank God for that. That's all I can do. I'm getting better at music. I wish to make more music. Take it to new plateaus and new heights. I'm constantly working away at that. Trying to grind away at the music and do well, and all I can say is that if you're going through a hard time, and if you're maybe working towards something and no one really gets it, no one really wants to reciprocate what you're working towards, well, keep pushing, keep going forward, be motivated for yourself, not for the opinions of others, and you'll do well. You'll do pretty good, because you don't need others' approval to persevere, to achieve your goals, right? And if we could all just summon that within ourselves, the ability to work towards what we want for ourselves, then it gets easier, it gets better, and you will succeed, because when you have creative goals or anything other than the 9 to 5, people will doubt you, especially if you don't really have a history of really succeeding in the past. How people kind of see you, and how people work towards the 9 to 5, whatever. I lost my train of thought here. You have to keep pushing on, and how people work is how they see you. They kind of build an opinion in their minds about you, and it's very hard to change their minds after years of knowing you, right? That you're not this person they think you are. So you gotta know that about people. People are stuck in what is called homeostasis, where we just go through the cyclical grind of the comfort zone, the homeostasis, right? And what's homeostasis? Homeostasis is just staying the same. There's a homeostasis for everything, whether it be nature, the animal kingdom, the human body, and the human mind, right? So what you ought to do is try break the mold, break that homeostasis, because we don't want to stay the same. We want to look towards greater heights. We want to look towards greater things. And that's how we will, like, get somewhere in this world, right? So that's one thing you ought to really know, is you ought to kind of break the mold. You want to always be searching for greater heights. And what does always be searching for greater heights means? That means improving your knowledge, improving your health, improving your life. Doing everything you can to grow yourself, change yourself, and stay out of the comfort zone, right? Because in the comfort zone, we just become stagnant. No one wants to be stagnant, because you'll become depressed. You'll lose your will to continue, and you'll lose your joy for life because you're doing the same stuff all the time, right? We ought to break the mold. It's time to look for change, not only in ourselves, but in the people around us. And to push yourself to greater heights, and then eventually move on to pushing others to greater heights. And, as long as they reciprocate. If you got people in your corner that you can build with, that you can help push you towards success, then keep them in your corner. Not everyone's a devil, not everyone's a demon. There are good spirits in this world, and you need to see that as well, right? Not be so apprehensive when it comes to meeting new people, because there might be that odd chance that they are a solid person, right? But especially when you're a targeted individual, or you're going through gang stalking, you really do end up seeing the worst in people, and that leads to you kind of not trusting people, But there are windows for opportunity. There's windows to succeed still, and we all need to see that, right? We ought to be willing to suffer for what we want. There's not enough people making the rallying cry, and we all must strive to do better. We all must strive to kind of change the world, not just stay in homeostasis or remain stagnant as a species. We ought to be looking for change. We ought to be looking for ways to improve towards the good, not devils, Satan, and evil, essentially, right? That's all I mean when I say devils, demons, spirits, whatever. It's what we hold within ourselves. Is it malice, hatred, deceit, lust? We all have these negative qualities about ourselves, but it's kind of like we ought to be taking it day by day. Taking it day by day, and every day is another battle. Every day is another thing we ought to strive to do better, right? Say you're working out. Well, okay. I'm working out. I did this many sets today. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna do double, or I'm gonna do a third more, you know? And it's about constantly improving, constantly setting for new heights, and not really worrying about losers, because why would you want to let somebody else tear down what you're building, what you're changing in this world, you know? I know I wouldn't want to let anybody tear me down. That's not me. And I sure hope that's not you. We ought to be striving towards getting things out there about how the world really works, not how people are misled to believe it works. And we really ought to strive for change. Things aren't getting any better, right? So we ought to be the change, not just let officials or all these people in power rely on them for everything. What we ought to be doing is coming together as people and helping each other, right? And we ought to network, we ought to build, you know, not just remain silent and never speak out, never call anyone out and be a doormat throughout your life, right? It's not what you want. You don't want to be a fucking doormat. You want to be defendable. You want to be someone who can take care of themselves. I got kind of interrupted there. Basically, what I was saying is, ultimately, we ought to strive for change and not be stagnant, not be redundant people. We want to be able to take care of ourselves. We want to be able to strive towards greater heights and better things. You know, and then you never want to compare yourself to others, because all that's going to lead to is low self-consciousness, low self-esteem. And we must protect our energy, we must protect our self-esteem. And strive for better things, right? So that's about my message, right? My ultimate message is the fact that we want to improve. We want to improve ourselves so that hopefully we can improve others. And work towards greater things, you know? Look at this beautiful view, eh? Very nice. Nice lake. enjoy nature, guys, because if we stay at home all the time, if we're always in our houses and not really doing much, we won't really achieve this change that I speak of. We won't achieve better in the world. It starts with being a good person, and what's being a good person entail? Well, it's number one would be not worrying about what the next man is doing and how to tear him down. Number two would be to be always improving yourself. Number three would be to treat others good. Granted, they're not treating you like a doormat. They're not just trying to create war with you, ruin your life, and create turmoil within your mind. What you want to be doing at the end of the day is focusing on yourself. We're all we got in this world. There's not very many people that will back you, unfortunately, and when you do find that, treat it like a blessing, because it is. It's no money, cars, laptops, or whatever possessions will replace human connection, will replace humanity. So just know that to be a pitfall as well, right? Like, we can be so consumed about getting the next thing, getting the next paycheck, getting the next possession, and just know it'll never fill the void. It'll never fulfill who you want to be. And what as humans do we all strive for? Well, we strive to be happy, right? Happy, peaceful, healthy. That's all we need. We need water, food, clothes on our back, and shelter. And what a lot of people fail to realize is that really is all you need to be happy, is just shelter, clothes, food, water. You don't need the expensive car when you could get the cheaper one. You don't need the fancy studio when you can just rig up a microphone and a guitar and start playing. I guess as humans we need goals as well, don't we? We need purpose. A man without purpose is a lost man. Women too, right? And that's how we get caught up in life's pitfalls, life's traps, is we lack purpose. So rather than having a purpose, rather than pushing towards greater things, we instead veer off the path and engage in drama and gossip and small petty things that at the end of the day won't really make a difference in your life. it won't really make a change. You know, I know a lot of people that have really fallen in life and really destroyed themselves over this kind of thing. And me, I had to pull myself out of the ditch, you know, to get where I am. And I've fallen back in many times. But I've always crawled out. I've always stood back up and crawled out, right? And we need to be able to summon that within ourselves. We need to be able to summon the strength to keep going no matter what, right? No matter what life throws at us. It can be anything. You know, you gotta ask yourself, how much do you love good? How much do you love what's right? How much do you love God? You know, are you willing to suffer to follow faith? Are you willing to go through the hardships to follow faith? Are you willing to hurt so that later you can prosper? I'd like to hope that you're willing to do that, right? Like we don't have to suffer, you know, we don't have to. But on a road to success, there's going to be suffering, and there's going to be betrayal, there's going to be isolation, there's going to be people holding no faith in you ever, and ultimately, we have to ignore all that. We have to roll with the punches, right? Roll with the punches and keep pushing on. And that's not the attitude of a lot of people. That's rare to find. You know? Society is engineered, society is geared in a way where we're all meant to be mediocre. We're all meant to just stay on this path that's been laid out for us. Ultimately, that's not what you want. You don't want to stay on the path that's laid out for us. You don't want to stay on the path that's mediocre. You want to strive for better, because that's ultimate fulfillment. We must consider the fact that us all as humans, our time is running out, and the next generation will take place in the next, and we ought to be the guiding force today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year, not as a resolution or as a idea, but as a plan, right? We must set plans, and where do plans spawn out of? They spawn out of ideas. So every time you have a beautiful idea, like, how could I change this person? Oh, I know exactly what to do. How could I eat better? Well, hey, I heard about that. How could I do better? Well, I heard this idea once. Every time you get an idea, write it down. Because that's how it becomes a plan. Right? There are many ways we can improve. We need to be changing. And I hope we all can understand that and kind of push for the best, you know. Because the way the world's going, the way the things are turning out, it's not really, we're not really being guided for the best. So yeah, that would be my ultimate message, is change. And we all need to set our own personal plans to change. What's your plan for tomorrow?